And we are on. This is the thing. Well, first of all, I have to adjust my exposure, and now we're done. Here's the thing. RVJ just made what is, in my opinion, an incredible video. Why? Because I wanted to talk about this for such a long time, but I kind of wanted to like couple it with another topic, with me seeing kind of a lot of things when refereeing and stuff like that. So I just wanted to address that topic from a refereeing point of view, because one of the first major things when I started refereeing in official competitions was the introduction of the risers. So RVJ's video is my riser stance video explained, and I heavily recommend you go and check that out. But since he already has this out, I figured I kind of do like a follow-up with some of the things that I wanted to discuss, but never kind of got to do it, right? So what better time than this one? So here's the idea. Like I said, when I first started refereeing officially, the risers, especially like the official, like really official risers, the ones with the two bars, with the elevated platform that just gets elevated by that mechanical system, that was something I had to get used to it. Like the first 2 or 3 matches I was a bit clumsy, but then I got the hang of it. But as I was doing this, I started thinking about other aspects of why exactly we are doing this, and a lot of things did not make sense for me, and I just wanted to address them. Okay, so here's the thing. I won't be talking about what RVJ already did. It would be nonsense. So that's why I'm saying please go check out his video. But here's some of my additions, if you will. So I always was kind of like this, tall, wiry, skinny guy, and no matter how I was fluctuating in weight and how quote unquote jacked I became, I would never like have the jacked look. I would probably need to go above 250 or 300 so that I'm visibly massive, especially with clothes on and stuff like that. Whenever I was jacked, I was just shredded to the bone, and I just looked incredible without the t-shirt. But as soon as you put like a t-shirt or a vest or whatever jacket on me, I'm like, do you even lift, bro? So that's kind of like my constitution. And height wise, I'm somewhere around like 6'3" or 6'2" and a half, something. Let's say in between 6'2", 6'3", depending on how you measure whatever. So in short, I'm not short, but like RVJ said, there's like a disadvantage that comes along with it. It's sort of like a package. And the thing is, always people were like, "Whoa, you have so long, forearms and the arm in general, so you have a lot of leverage. You shouldn't complain because actually you have the advantage." And I was like, well, this is kind of like a double-edged sword, because as you know, when you're working with tools, especially with power tools, if you're working on something that requires like a screwdriver or even a hammer or a wrench, you name it, the longer the arm on which you can apply force, the better it is, because it multiplies the force times the distance, and that's how you get mechanical work, right? So you should know this even from like grade school. So it is true that when you apply let's say a certain amount of force onto a longer arm, you are generating more power. But also, kind of like vice versa, if my arm now becomes the opponent's tool, like the screwdriver that he wants to use or the wrench he wants to use, now whatever force he puts into my arm with this dimension gets amplified, basically, compared to a shorter arm, because you're acting upon a longer, again, forearm in this case, bone, right? So that's kind of like a tricky situation to be in, because yes, you can exert more force, but also a lot more force can be exerted on you. And RVJ also said something similar, that you tend to be you're kind of like prone to getting open a lot more. And this brings me to the second point, which again, in my opinion, is very important to be mentioned, which is, if you have, I can't really find something here, but yeah, I'll just use fingers, and as stupid as it might look, it's not dick sizes, okay? So if this is a shorter guy's forearm and this is a taller guy's forearm, why am I getting this red hue? I have no idea. But anyway, if these are like two forearms, guess what's gonna happen? The moment they step onto the table, the short guy will automatically have the advantage of being able to like rise, because he'll need to kind of like rise up on the table, right? So he'll be able to be almost vertical. Whereas, guess what's gonna happen again? The guy with the longer arm, he will need to come down. So if you trace like the bone here and the bone here, you have like this sort of triangle where one side of it is like pointing upwards and the other one is kind of like pointing diagonally. And what this means is that for me, with the longer arm, I need to, instead of being able to start the match here, I need to now go down here. Or even if I try to kind of like hold my vertical position, still no referee in this world, especially in the set grip, will let you start like this, because most of the times even you're going to be covering the knuckles. So what you will have to trade eventually will be, if not this angle, this angle. So you'll need to go this. And a lot of times you see people going like this because they're like fighting for the rising position, and then they need to open up like this for the referee's grip. And this is again something that really hurts you. I hope I don't have to explain why coming from this angle to this angle is bad, or why coming from this position to this position is bad, right? And my wrist just popped. Anyhow, so again, in my opinion, that's again one of the disadvantages of having a long arm, right? So combined with what I said earlier, now we go into the third point, which is, again, in my opinion, it's a bit strange that it's happening, but like, there's a reason why we have age categories, why we have weight categories, first of all, and why we have all of these metrics that influence the opponent that we're getting, and the type of people that we're able to pull, right? So if now all of a sudden we're saying let's level up the playing field in terms of height, then what's next? Let's level up the playing field in terms of what, age, and just boost someone up with something so that they're older or younger, or I don't know, why even perform the weigh-ins? Because it's like, I want to pull Devin, but guess what? I'm half his size. So because of this severe weight disadvantage, start loading me up with things. I don't know. It might be rocks hanging in my pockets, or sandbags, or just juice me up before the competition so that I can kind of bridge the gap towards guys like Devin, who are naturally more massive. Doesn't make sense to me, right? So why do it with the height? Again, strength-wise, like, I want to pull RVJ, but he is times stronger than me, so I want to still pull him. So please, referee or whoever, give me the same chances, because I want to compete at that level. So I don't know. Again, what should we do? Just shoot up roids up my ass just so that I can hope to kind of like pull guys like RVJ or anyone in that kind of class for whatever reason? It's Again, it doesn't make sense to me. That's the beauty of competition, and that was always the beauty of sports. You kind of need to overcome your natural disadvantages, and you have to find ways to overcome those with your natural advantages. So if you're short, in my opinion, you should never get the riser. You should actually make use of whatever else you have by being shorter, so that you can overcome the big tall guy, right? So just like Rob said, when you're shorter, usually you're a bit more compact, more stocky, so you can put on a lot more mass, despite of what I just said earlier with in my opinion, having a shorter arm also giving you just as big as an advantage if you know how to use it. So yeah, also like the dad move. Why is the dad move being done like that? Why do you climb down? Because the lower you are, the more now I can engage everything from my elbow without being like so far out. I can just engage everything from my elbow. I can start becoming compact, and I can, close everything in. And now this whole thing is a unit, and I can just pull it like I'm trying to pull, I don't know, whatever, a log, a car, a sandbag, doesn't matter. It's not like this, right, where you're like all skinny and just opened up and limbs flying all over the place, right? So again, with shorter guys, in my opinion, it's the same thing as, I don't know, I'm 6'3" and I'm whatever, 170, 180 pounds, and someone else comes in with the same height, but a different weight, or the same weight but different height. So it's like you win some, you lose some. It's all about making things just making the best out of what you got versus the other guy. Obviously, you have to kind of make sure that overall you're kind of there. So in my opinion, maybe again we should revise this thing with the weight classes and with the height difference. I have a big idea about this thing that I've been putting off for a long time. I have all of the things already done, computed. I just need to refine them, but I will have sort of like a proposition, I don't know, for the future, for actually coming up with something. I don't want to say even a few keywords because I'll be giving it away. But yeah, the idea is that you win some, you lose some. So as far as I see things, the moment you're putting a shorter guy on a riser, not to mention what Rob just said, where naturally shorter guys are usually a lot stronger for their frame, right? Because they're able to pack on a lot more size. So already this guy was like, let's say we're competing. If we're competing in a tournament, obviously we're in the same category, weight category. So we're already at the same weight, but because of the height difference, for him as a human being, his potential is up here versus his max probably, while mine is here because for my height, my build should have been probably a lot heavier, right? But it isn't. So am I asking for someone to kind of like slice muscle away from my opponent? No. So what happens is that when he comes in with this advantage already, because we're in the same weight category but completely different heights, so he's like all waiting to explode while I'm up here just flimsy and whatever. Now you give this guy who already has an advantage, you give him a riser, a platform. Now he is coming up to my level or close to my level, or in some cases even above my level, depends on just how big the gap is and how much the riser adds. So now you put him, let's say, at my level, and still he maintains his muscle frame, and still he maintains his shorter arm, which again, if played correctly, that is an advantage, and this becomes a disadvantage having a longer arm. So now you're kind of like setting the final aspect that would guarantee total failure on my part and total success on his part. Is like, if you would have kept him there, I would have had the disadvantage of being, skinnier and not so strong for my build, but I'm able to use my advantage with having a taller body and being above the table with the hips, whereas he is below, but he has the other advantages. So again, it's kind of like playing your odds and trying to see who comes out on top, right? But now you're kind of like giving everything that he misses, you're giving it to him, whereas I get to keep my disadvantages because they cannot be easily compensated by just adding something in a matter of a few seconds. So yeah, the same disclaimer as Rob had. This is nothing about short people or whatever. It's just about thinking things through when it comes to how we choose to compensate for the disadvantages and why, and also if we should even do this in the first place. Because again, it's kind of strange that the height is the only thing that's being compensated for, whereas all of the other nature given differences get to stay the same, right? So that's kind of unfair in my opinion. And again, just like with basketball, I mean, you can be 7 foot, you can be 5 foot, you want to play, fine, but nobody's going to give you like risers on your shoes or whatever so that you can close the gap. You're shorter, so you have to deal with it, but hey, you have the speed, you have the agility, you can just zigzag your way through the opponents, whereas the super tall guy, usually they're slower and a bit clumsier, but again, it depends. So at the end of the day, it's a very mixed bag of nuts, and you should learn how to use whatever you have without asking for elimination of your disadvantages versus the other guy's inability to eliminate his disadvantages. That's kind of like my 2 cents on the topic. And as always, like it if you did, dislike it twice if you didn't like it, and hate troll, share, subscribe, whatever. Just let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And until next time, I hope I'll see you soon enough, because right now with my work it's like crazy. So sorry for the lack of content in the last few weeks, unfortunately. But yeah, talk to you soon, and later soon.